In this tutorial, we are going to be doing the cast on, a tubular cast on for brioche, and what it will create is this really nice edge that you can get on a brioche fabric. So it's sort of a 1x1 rib, it's quite stretchy, and it looks very rounded and nice. So the first thing that we need to do is create a slip knot. So you've got your yarn and you'll need to create a slip knot and insert your needle. The working yarn should be coming from the thumb and the tail should be coming from the index finger. So my tail is over here over my index finger. My working yarn is over my thumb. So the first thing that I want to do is the first part of this stitch is to go under at the thumb, over at the index finger, and then sort of under both. And that's my first stitch. Now the second part, which is we'll create a knit stitch when viewed from the other side, goes sort of under at the index finger, over at the thumb, and then under both. So that's going to be what we repeat and just get into a rhythm of. So thumb, index finger, thumb, thumb, index finger, and index finger, thumb. Okay. Okay, so since I want to begin my next row with a knit stitch, I've just finished what would be a knit stitch, and that's where I go under the index finger and over at the thumb. And so I'm going to sort of hold these yarns in place and then turn the whole thing round so that I'm ready to work row one. And my tail is coming from, is sort of coming at the front, and my working yarn is at the back. And you'll notice that tail really wants to come around, so I like to hold on to it to keep it in place at the very beginning. So I'm going to knit into the back of that first stitch because it's sort of on what you kind of would consider to be backwards. So we don't want to twist it, so we knit into the back of it. And then we will slip one purl. This is the setup row, and into the back of that stitch because it's on sort of backwards, and slip one purl, that one that looks like a pearl, knit into the back, slip one purl, knit into the back, slip one yarn over, sorry, I've been saying slip one purl, slip one yarn over, and then that last stitch can just be knit. It was the slip knot, so we don't have to knit into the back of it. So you're slip one yarn overing into the purl stitches is what I meant to say. So then that was the setup row, and you can just continue on. If you know what to do with brioche from here, just keep on going. I'll just do the next two rows just to show you in case you want to see them. So the first and last stitches on the wrong side rows are purled in this specific pattern. That's not always true, but for this pattern it is. So we're going to purl one, and then we'll brioche knit, which is knitting together that yarn over with its accompanying stitch. Slip one yarn over, brioche knit, and I will show it with my yarn in my right hand as well. So if you were going to do the slip one yarn over with your yarn in your right hand, you can just slip one yarn over, and then brioche knit, you'll sort of knit with the yarn coming from the front, and then that will create the desired result. So bring the yarn to the front, and then slip one yarn over, brioche knit, and then we will just knit that last, purl that last stitch, as we're on the wrong side. Okay. So I'll do one more row just to show the complete situation that we have here. Now we're back on the right side. Let's get everything in focus here. There we go, back on the right side. Now we don't have to worry about knitting into the back of anything anymore because that's it's all been taken care of. Things should be on correctly or the usual way now. So we'll knit that first stitch, and then we'll slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one yarn over, and again I'll do it with my right hand. So brioche knit, bring the yarn to the front, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip one yarn over, and then we'll just knit that last stitch. And I want you to notice that everything looks pretty weird right now. So if you get to your first 2 rows and you think this is super ugly and it doesn't look like that cast on, that's what it looks like at the very beginning. And then once you really get going and you have some more work established, what you'll end up with is this really nice edge. So don't worry if your edge seems ugly at first. It'll get it'll look nicer once you have a few more things established. So that's how you do the tubular cast on for brioche 1 by 1.